Hey, Godlings, I got a few good stories for you. Funny kid story time, right? Almost forgot my notes. All right, so this is for new parents and even new grandparents, right? Especially new parents. Never miss an opportunity to have fun with your children and kind of goof around with them a little bit, and uh, just never miss any opportunity that you can to talk to them and help them out and just have fun, right? In general, just have fun and create those memories that they'll remember forever, right? Now, one thing you want to do when your kid starts getting older and talking, you want to ask them a couple times in a few years, right? Because by after age 5, I think it's sloughed off, right? But before age 5, and when they're talking, ask them on 2, 3 different occasions, right? Hey, do you remember before you were here? You'd be amazed. A lot of kids don't, but I think there's more and more now that are coming in this world that do remember before they were here, okay? So it's always so worth asking, hey, do you remember before you were here? And if the answer is no, it's no. Sometimes you'd be surprised, though. Sometimes I'm like, they might think about it, because if they're not asked, they might not think about talking about it, because kids are different than, they're not little adults, right? Okay, so you never miss that. Always, I tell people that all the time. I was like, I can't remember where I learned that, but I read it, learned it somewhere. I was like, I'm going to start doing that. So I would ask them. And you'd be amazed at what the information you can get sometimes, But anywho, that's a good one. Ask them, would you remember before you were here? Anywho, funny story time. Okay, so my kid, he's young. He's about, 6 to 8, I think. But one time it was funny. I tried to convince him his name was Stevie Jones. He had amnesia, and his name was really Stevie Jones. He was like thinking about it for a second. I'm like, no. The other time was when my cat Stanley passed away, and my son was, how old was he? Oh, probably 4 or 5. And he wasn't much to hang out with the cats when he was younger. He'd notice them, of course. He didn't really go out of his way to bother them, It's all right. Because he's new world, probably didn't understand what these creatures were or something. I don't know. But one cat, he got sick and he died. And I had to go take him, put him down. It was sad and all. But because Josh was young, he wasn't there that day. And I was like, well, maybe I can get out of this. I figured he'd notice that Stanley wasn't around. It had been a few days. We hadn't seen Stanley. I mean, even though he didn't bother him a whole lot or go out of his way to pet the cats, he still understood, paid attention, and knew what was going on, right? So he's like, where's Stanley go? Where's Stanley? And I was like, So I got to think about how I'm going to explain this to him, because he's kind of a little too young to understand death, right? So before I could say anything, he offered up information. He said, where'd Stanley go? And I'm thinking, he's like, did Stanley go to Pittsburgh or something? Yes, he went to Pittsburgh. Oh, so Saved by the Bell kind of thing. But then I'm like, oh, shit, I just lied to the kid. So now I got to cover up my lie for I don't know how long. Well, fortunately, it was just like a couple years ago. I said, do you remember that? He says, well, how long did I believe that? I'm like, well, till now. So I was like, oh my God, if any other cat dies or anybody dies, yes, they're going to Pittsburgh before he can understand what really is going on, right? So I said, okay. In my head, I'm thinking any animal or person that dies goes to Pittsburgh. But then I was thinking, oh my God, if he figures this out at the wrong time and we're going through Pittsburgh or by Pittsburgh, he's going to either A, want to stop by and see everybody that we lost, or he's going to be terrified and be like, I ain't going to Pittsburgh. We all go away. Don't go come back, Anywho, so that was a funny one on that one. I felt bad lying to the kid, but he didn't understand. So, sometimes you got to lie to your kids to protect them from their own naivety, right? Anywho, and then other times you just want to have fun. You just want to have fun with the kids, right? So one time my son's on the couch in the living room, and I'm in his room, and I'm putting his clothes away in his dresser, right? So when you walk in the room, like say you're walking in like this, right? And you go in a little bit, and the bed's here, and then at the end of the bed is where you put his clothes, right? So you walk down, and here it is, but I went like this behind his bed. He asked me, he says, Dad, are you in my room? I says, yeah. He says, what are you doing in there? I says, I'm pooping on your floor. He says, no. And I says, no, you don't believe me, or no, you don't want me to. So all of a sudden I hear, he jumps down, so he's coming in the bedroom. So I was like, I thought quick, and I squatted down behind the things just like this. So he couldn't see. All I did was squat down so he couldn't. And he turned the corner and he goes, I was like, nah, I'm not pooping on your floor this time. Funny kid story time. Never miss an opportunity.